members, to our leadership council members, our friends, I see you across the room, our former board chair, our leadership council, our friends, elected leaders, Mayor, Representative Smith, thank you for coming. You honor us today for being here. There has been a tremendous amount going on with this institution, and I want to start by talking about what's happened just recently this summer. One early morning in May, I received a FaceTime call from a group of students early. I opened the FaceTime and I hear giggles and because they're thrilled and excited that I answered. And they're in Greece. And these students, I don't know where they were in Greece because they were so excited and talking, and they were trying to show me. So I got seasick walking. But where they were was a location that had been rebuilt 3 times in its history, and the last time was in 700 BC. That I got. Because they said, President Baxter, we didn't know a place like this existed. So as those students walked the steps of Paul and saw these wonderful old ancient ruins, they began to understand their place in the history of our universe. Those are lessons they couldn't have learned just sitting in a classroom. You need to be there and see it because they've read that old places exist. They just didn't believe it. We had another group of students this summer that headed off. These were sports management majors, and they headed off to do what for many of us would be bucket list items, like going to Wimbledon, going to the British Open. They were visiting behind the scenes with football organizations to learn how those organizations run. Sports management majors. And as they had that exchange, one of the people leading the session stopped and said to a young man, a LaGrange College student, when you get ready to graduate, will you let us know because we'd like to hire them. We know we're a great institution. It is affirming to have somebody across the pond recognize the quality of LaGrange College. We're excited that those travel away opportunities, they were on a COVID hiatus. We're glad that our students last year embraced them and we got to go on these wonderful trips in Ireland as well. We also spent some time renovating bathrooms this summer in Hawks, Pitts, and Boatwright, our oldest residence halls with community bathrooms. Much needed tile repair and updating and color schemes and something that I'm looking at, they were old. They needed, or rather recent graduate, they needed some spiffing up. And so we worked in all of those spaces, creating separate laundry rooms where we could. We took tile and updated it. We also created some privacy. Now, while this generation is online and telling everybody everything about their life, physically, they like privacy in a way other generations haven't cared as much about. And so it was important to us to give them the sense of privacy. So you'll notice up here what looks like bathroom doors. Those lead to showers, so they can lock it. We're grateful for these updates that happened around campus. We also want to highlight our nursing program. We had 95% passage of our NCLEX. That's the exam that nursing students take in order to be registered nurses. We're happy about that because 95% was higher than the state average. We're happy as well because we're at 100% now. We want all of our nurses to be registered. We're also happy that we received last year a $214,000 grant to expand our capacity to educate nurses. You'll hear a theme across today, which is we are listening to what various industries need from us. So whether it be Wellstar or CHOA or other healthcare entities, they were saying to us, we love your graduates. They're great nurses, but we need more of them and more often. And so thank you to the Senators Ossoff and Warnock and you as taxpayers. If the government doesn't shut down, the money will flow in October to us. It's a long process. Once you get awarded, you have to wait for the next fiscal year for the federal government. So we're excited about what this will mean for a January start from nurses. We also spent some time this past year and intensely this summer in manufacturing. We wanted to engage with the fourth largest industrial complex in the country, the largest in the Southeast, right here in Troup County, to ask, how can LaGrange College be of service? How can we help? And we heard a number of things, like, well, we want people to have an associate's degree in some positions. They need the soft skills or the essential skills that come with that degree. So we listened. And they said, computer science, everything we do is driven by a computer. So that had us think about and start this January a master's in computer science program, and then a bachelor of science degree in computer science. We're working with our accreditor. And so we hope that that will begin next fall. It also had us look at forming a Bachelor of Science degree in Manufacturing Engineering Technology, and I'm pleased to announce that the board has approved the creation of that program. Now, what this means, because I don't know that probably sounds like alphabet soup to almost everybody in the room. But what this means is this is the individual who is an engineer walking around the plant floor and, in layman's terms, making sure that the product that you want to purchase is made correctly, is safe, the quality is there. They are problem solvers. We don't have enough of that by far in this community to satisfy the work needs of the industries that are currently here and those that we are attracting. And we felt like LaGrange College had a role in helping. So next fall, we will start our first class in this program. We are in the engineering business. It is the most popular major that we get asked about is, do you have engineering? So finally, our answer is yes. And it will help immensely in this area. In fact, it's been kind of fun as we've gone around these plants. As I continue to see people around town, they keep saying to me, because Kia was with us that day, so now they're saying, you can't let Kia get all of your graduates. We've got to have some of your graduates. They're needed. You're talking large quantities of jobs in this area. Now, about a month ago, we moved in a large number of students. We're at 88% capacity in our residence halls. And as a part of that move-in, they got to participate in the Downtown Development Authority's sponsored scavenger hunt. So they were roaming around downtown, finding stuff in stores, and some new things that they saw thanks to the work of the Development Authority. And you may have started to see this. The round sticker that says alumni owned business. So if you're in the lobby of the local chiropractic or at another establishment downtown, you might see that as an indication of the impact that our college is having just on the downtown area alone. And then if a student wants to go and to Scoops for some ice cream or some chocolates, they can show their ID and they will get a discount there. So we're grateful for the Downtown Development Authority in trying to get more of our students downtown. I know there that's a big desire. And we're grateful for the businesses to help attract our students to downtown. So our strategic plan is built upon that mission statement that Carol so beautifully spoke of, that inspiring the lives of students to live lives of integrity and moral courage. And it's leading toward that vision that our students, when they come here, their lives will be changed. The alumni in the room know that story because you lived that story. And in turn, those students will live in communities and they will impact what is happening in their communities and transform their part of this world. We've done a great deal of work. We've worked on pipeline stabilization. We've worked on retention. We've worked on dividing. We've worked on our data systems. We've worked on all manner of things. And instead of walking through each and everything we've worked on, I want to show you some fruit of the labor. If you add dual enrollment, freshman, transfer, graduate students, we have the second largest new student enrollment in the institution's history. Let's break that down. We look at our freshmen. You can see we're rebounding, highest since 2019, fall. We're excited about this energy of these new students. Let me tell you a little bit about them. They come from across 6 states in the Southeast. We saw an increase in our student-athlete population, our non-student athlete population, which is very important to us to also grow. And we saw a little bit more leveling between our male and females. We were unusual in that we were far more male-dominated, which is not what typical in higher ed, but we were. And so we've seen a little bit of leveling between the male and female students. And we have 3 new international students from India, Argentina, and French Guadeloupe by way of Belgium. Or French Guadeloupe, Belgium by way of French Guadeloupe here with us. They have been wonderful additions to our community. If we look at our total undergraduate enrollment, you can see us at 653. This 653 represents a 14% increase in our transfer population. Now last year, you may have heard all this conversation about the Pell Grant, the Federal Need-Based Aid Grant. The application was a bipartisan effort to change the application to expand essentially to the low middle class that had been cut out of everything. But if we looked at the money those families had, they didn't have money for college either. And to expand Pell. What we have seen is we think that that's what's happened in our numbers. 42% of our undergraduate students received the full Pell Award this year. 52% of our student population received some level of Pell. So we have a population that needs us, and we need them. Let's break this down as well. Talk about aviation. We had 15 students choose LaGrange College because we have an aviation program this year. Those 15 students were considering other places like Embry-Riddle, but decided that LaGrange College was the better fit. This summer, we had the honor of hosting Delta on campus. They wanted to come and get to know this program in their backyard. And it was one of those moments that I wish I could bottle, I would have recorded, because I couldn't have written it better. Part of their visit, they agreed to meet with prospective students and their families. And they started to talk about aviation. And of course, Delta is the pinnacle. That's where you want to end your career. And a lot of people think you can begin your career there. And so Delta was there to talk through the reasonable expectation as to how one gets to be a Delta pilot. And as they were talking, they were so complimentary of LaGrange College, because what Delta's interested in is not, can you fly the plane, because I know you can do that. It's all the other things that you get as a part of a liberal arts education. It's the team building, the communication. And this might surprise you, it's service. And that is a core value of this institution. And our students are flexing those muscles, right? Over 4,500 hours of community service in this area every year by our students. And what Delta said is that helps you, right? You're doing that, and then you're going to go into the workplace and you're going to keep doing those things. And then when you come for that Delta interview, you're a shoo-in, because you've exhibited leadership and teamwork. We are proud of this aviation program, and we look forward to growing the numbers in the years to come. We look at graduate enrollment. We've got the largest graduate enrollment in the institution's history. How did we do it? Well, we increased clinical mental health counseling 94%. Folks, we have a wait list. We have a group of students that we're bound by some accrediting standards on faculty-to-student ratio. So we can only let in so many this fall. So we're creating a second cohort for January because we have enough students to do that. We are grateful for this program because don't we all know how much we need people in the mental health field out across this country and in this area. We're proud of this program, and Representative Smith, I would be remiss if I didn't thank you and the late Speaker Ralston and the governor for the work and making sure that getting a career and the training in mental health was now more affordable for Georgians. So thank you, because we think that's a part of this number as well. So our first doctorate program, the cohort started at 31 students in this cohort. This far exceeded our expectations for the first year of enrollment. We have, this program was started because we have listened to school system leaders who said to us, we don't have enough doctoral trained people, and we need this curriculum instruction badly. What can you do to help? We also, interestingly, had graduates calling to say, hey, where are you getting the EDD because I need this for my school system. So we are grateful for these 31 students who will graduate in May of 26, and boy, will we celebrate that monumental occasion in the life of this institution. But as we have students come to LaGrange College, it is important that we retain them. So I share this with you because our retention rate went up 7 percentage points. It is really easy to lower a percentage. You know, you have a coach leave who takes half the team with him. That's a quick way to lower your retention. And I want to talk about retention just for a second. We work off of a federal definition. Retention is who starts in the fall of their freshman year, who returns the fall of their sophomore year. That is how the federal government defines it. We've increased 7 percentage points. Now what that should mean to you is that we have been laser focused. That the work we have put into things like creating academic advising teams, the academic coaching that we've been doing, the tutoring center, the writing center, the investments we've made in supplemental instruction, the work of our coaching staff, the work of every person on this campus ties to that retention rate. We are focused. We want the students to come and we want to retain them. We're not satisfied at 67, we're going to keep going. But we're thrilled to have that retention rate. So that goes into our total enrollment. Wow. We're doing it, we're growing. It's an impact that will be felt in this region as these individuals will graduate and serve in our hospitals and in our classrooms, in our accounting firms, and in our airlines. We're thankful for this group and for the success we're having. Now, what went into this success and what else can you expect in the year to come? Well, a tremendous amount of work on behalf of the faculty to create and innovate within our curriculum. We've talked about a number of these programs already, but we created a master's in higher ed. That's one we haven't spoken of. We have 6 students in our inaugural class for that, and that's designed for people who want to work in higher education, not as faculty, but all the other functions of the college. That is at a small to mid-sized institution, which is the bulk of the market. And we are thrilled with the students that are in there and the service that they're already providing to us as a campus as they learn. We also, you heard us say the Master's in Computer Science, or heard me say Master's in Computer Science. We added an AA in Interdisciplinary Studies. In Trenton County, we don't have as many people with an associate's degree as other counties that we aspire to be have. And we felt like LaGrange College had a responsibility to help. So we now have this associate's degree, and we'll begin to market this and make sure that we can be in service to those that need it. We also added some certificates. One, a certificate in marriage and family counseling. When you go to a counseling program, what you are is really a generalist when you graduate. And so if you want to specialize in something, then sometimes you'll go get a certificate in it. So now, regardless of whether the student is our student or our graduate or another school's graduate, they can come and get the certificate in marriage and family counseling. And I say come, it's all online. They can do it from their home. We added exercise, a concentration in strength and conditioning, a minor in neuroscience. But in addition to these programs, we also paid attention to pipeline programs. How could we help students? Things that wouldn't make sense for us to start, but would help our students. So what does some of that look like? Well, take counseling, for example. We created some pipelines with other institutions and within our own graduates, that when a student reaches their 2nd semester of their senior year, they begin to take counseling, master's level courses. When they finish that semester, they earn their bachelor's degree from the college where they're stationed, and then they will finish 3 more semesters at LaGrange College in counseling and earn their master's program, saving time and saving money for these students. We also had articulation agreements for our exercise science students that want to go into athletic training. We're required to have a master's degree in athletic training. We don't offer that, but we have lots of interest. So we have students that can go there. We formed partnerships for students that are interested in going to pharmacy school or osteopathic medicine. We formed pipelines for students that are interested in seminary. So now we have students that can come to LaGrange College. They'll spend 3 years with us as a religion philosophy major, and then they'll go to Candler. They'll spend 1 year, it's a 3-year program, but after the first year, they will receive their bachelor's degree from LaGrange College, and then they will finish seminary. A year off of the loan debt to go to seminary into a career that's not as high paying as others. We think this is a tremendous service to students, and already have students. I was engaged with one last night in a conversation, said, "You have this? Are you kidding? I'm doing it." We're grateful for these partnerships and ways that we can be of service. But it's not just academic partnerships that we've been working with. You heard the addition of 2 new teams, women's teams. We're excited to have these going and excited what future enrollment will look like for these teams. I want to introduce you to some faces that you're going to start seeing around town if you haven't already. Coach Sumter came from Atlanta as a flag football coach at a high school there and is now happy to be with us as we are to have her. And then just this week, Aaron Fays started as our new men's and women's head golf coach. He has nearly 2 decades of experience as a head coach, most recently at Andrew College. We're pleased to have him with us. Now, the other things that we do for students is kind of the softer side. It's the things we do that get them ready for employment, that go beyond what happens in the classroom. It's the leadership opportunities. And one such group is our LIFT program, Leaders Inspired for Tomorrow. This is a group that is involved in all sorts of things. They go on an outward bound trip. They do great leadership development, learning how strong you really are types of experiences. But last year's group of LIFT students observed a need and decided to do something about it. And they created, along with our staff, the LC Kindness Closet. What they observed, back to kind of that Pell number of students that are coming from lower income families. And so they created this kindness closet, and many of your your communities of faith have contributed to this. So thank you if you are one of those who brought oodles of noodles and shaving cream and razors and toiletry items for our students. So that students can go into here at set hours. They go in and they can buy, shop for what they need, put it in a bag and walk out and go back to their residence hall room. Because the students didn't want them worried about how they were going to get their laundry cleaned. It's free to use the washer, but you need soap. So I'm proud of the types of leadership that these students have taken on this campus, and you should be proud. Let's talk about some of those students. I want you to get to know several. Gracie Ferguson. This is a picture of Gracie at Preview Day right outside this building. Gracie separated at this point from her family. They went for their parents' time with us, and she went off on her tour. And as Gracie tells it, she said, we were meeting up in the cafeteria afterward, and I just have to tell you, I was dreading the walk as I was making my way to the cafeteria. Because my dad had picked apart every place we went. And what I had decided at that point was this place was home. And I thought, oh, here we go. What's he going to say? So she gets her fried chicken and mac and cheese, because we know how to do Preview Day. And she sits down at the table, and she just sits there quietly waiting. And her dad says, Gracie, I think this is the place. And Gracie beamed, because she knew she's a nurse and wants to do nursing. She knew the strength of our nursing program. And one of the things I loved that Gracie said, and you can see it on the screen, I'm meeting friends I didn't even know I needed. Wow. You alumni know that. You've made lifelong friends here, friends that have challenged and inspired you and stretched you and made you laugh. And Gracie's in the thick of it all. I want you to meet Marissa Merrill. She is an EDD student in this first cohort. She was an EDS student. So as I talked with Marissa, I said, Marissa, why did you wait? And why were you waiting on LaGrange College? She said, you need to know something. Because I've taken online courses at other institutions. I have friends in other EDD programs. And And what I have observed is that your faculty in the education department are really good at online instruction. At other places, you've got to prompt, you've got to prove that you read it or you were there, and it's just busy work. She said, not at LaGrange College. Your faculty stretch me to perform every day. So I knew I needed to wait because I needed that quality. She's serving as an assistant principal near Albany and aspires to be a principal and a district superintendent. If you met her, you would know it's a matter of when, not if. She's an outstanding graduate and soon-to-be doctoral holder from LaGrange College. Howie Turner is a new student, presidential scholar, really bright, happy student. He came to play soccer, as he tells it. And then he discovered that he actually liked the classes at LaGrange College. He said, I'm really quite surprised, because academics really wasn't he's good, he's a presidential scholar, he's a top student. But he's been inspired by the classes that he's taken and the faculty in areas that are not exercise science. He's headed to PT school, as do a number of our students each year. So he is excited to be here, and he wrote this note to me just to let me know how much he loved it here. So I want you to know Howie. Then Trenton. Trenton Harrison is a junior. His smile says it all. He is the center on the football team, and that really describes how we see him here on this campus. He is central to everything. It is easier to tell you what he's not involved in than what he's involved in, so this is just a small sample. And Trenton, this is his home. He's from Louisiana. He doesn't go back home. He lives here year-round. And Trenton said, you know what I love about this place is it's allowed me to be me. I'm more me than I've ever been, he says. I'm figuring out who me is. And I appreciate this place because whether it's the coach or the faculty or the staff, I'm allowed to make mistakes. And when I make mistakes, someone is there to say, do you need some help? And then, he says, we learn together. You alumni, you know that story. This is a powerful place, and Trenton is a testament to what this place can do as our students are figuring out who their need is. The last student I want to introduce you to is Toriana Green. She was a clinical mental health counseling graduate from 2020. She is born and raised in LaGrange. You may have seen a new counseling practice, Empowered Minds, open up. It's Toriana's practice. And she said, LaGrange College was an easy choice because I'm from LaGrange. Of course, I would go to LaGrange for counseling. She felt called into that profession. She said, but what I didn't expect was the mentorship I would get from the faculty. You see, starting my own practice seemed really scary, but I watched several of our faculty have their own practices in addition to teaching here. And she said, I watched that, I learned from that, and it gave me the courage that I could do it. And now we have another opportunity in town to help individuals who need some extra help. We're proud of Toriana and what she's doing in this community. We're proud of all of our graduates. And if we look at the class of 2024, once again, 87% of the class of 2024 had a job or went to graduate school by the time the diploma hit their hand. Folks, that's a high percentage. That is one we should be really proud of. Where do these students go? Well, some of them are our new Associate of Science in Mathematics degree that we had started the prior year. They're headed to Auburn and other engineering schools. We also had students that followed that pathway for athletic training masters. We had a student go for a master's in psychology at Tennessee State. We had a student go for OT at University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. We had students that entered accounting firms. Our teachers, boy, it's hard to tell you what counties they're not in. From Rockdale, DeKalb, Atlanta, Gwinnett, Truth, of course, Muskogee, Coweta, Colquitt. They're all around this state in classrooms. And in fact, last week in that horrific school, we had 3 graduates in the hallways helping students. We're everywhere. And we're happy that we're in those places with this spirit with them. Our students went to nonprofit organizations. Our nurses, all gainfully employed, went to places like CHOA, Wellstar, Piedmont, and to Georgia Hospice. We had students go into entertainment, Fast Lane Records. We had another student head up to a theater company in Michigan. Yet another student went, this is full-time employment, by the way, in theater, went up to work with the Pennsylvania Renaissance Festival, a year-round festival here. We're excited about the places that our graduates have gone on their first step from this place. We're also excited at the students that choose to stay here. Recently, I was speaking with a 2023 graduate who is about to marry a 2024 graduate. And he's working here at an accounting firm, and I said, why did you stay? And he said, well, we just fell in love with this place. It's where we decided we're going to start our marriage. And I think it's probably where they're going to retire, because they're going to love it as much as we all do here. We're proud of those students. 33% of our nurses stay to work here in Troup County. 30% of our teachers stay in Troup County. And these aren't people who are from Troup County necessarily. They're ones who decide that this place is home. We're also proud to have 3 graduates. We have some in the room, or had some in the room. I think Sarah's had to go teach. We had students, you can see up here, Marius, Sarah, and Peter, who are great shining examples. Were recognized in the 20 under 40 publication recently. You all serve as shining examples of what this place does to launch your career and to give back into this community. So thank you for being that example. Now, as we conclude today, it really is about that mission and what we're doing to inspire the souls and the minds of our students to live lives of integrity and moral courage. And our world desperately needs people like that. As you leave here, I would like for you to take the message with you that LaGrange College is listening, that LaGrange College is innovating, and LaGrange College is growing. Thank you for all that you do to help this place operate. We appreciate each and every one of you and taking the time out on a dreary day to walk the hill